Hey fun guys and gals, I'm out here in the forest, the Pacific Northwest, looking for one mushroom in particular, the Late Oyster Mushroom. Come join me. So this one here is what is known as an elfin saddle. Not what we came to find, but pretty cool mushroom. They're really rubbery texture. And when they get old, they develop this white kind of crust on top. I guess it's more slimy than crusty, but they're a pretty cool find. I like them. Not an edible, so don't try and eat them, but yeah, they're rubbery and a good decoration for the forest. Spotted a little bunny in the forest. You see him right there? He's just standing still. I think he's scared of me. I won't hurt you, fella. Oh, warming up a little bit. Yeah, he's out here in the cold, late fall. Cute little fellow. Let's zoom in a little bit on him here. See if I can. Yeah, there we go. What a fun little critter. Hope you have a happy life, buddy. Eat some fun stuff. Not my mushrooms. All right, let's go on. Look down here, under this newly planted tree, there's a whole bunch of these like little bird's nest fungi. They're very cool. Little droplets of water get sent down into these cups, and those little eggs in there, the seeds of the bird's nest fungi, go shooting out everywhere and produce just a ton more of them. It's a really cool find. I like these ones a lot. But let's keep looking around. So this one here is called the late fall oyster. Some people just call it the late oyster or the winter oyster. And these things stick around late into the season. So one of the last ones to stick around. They can reconstitute themselves after being frozen. So if a frost takes over the forest, they'll pop right back. This one's getting a little old. They usually have a yellow underside there. This one's getting moldy. You can see some fungus growing on some fungus, if you will. Very cool mushroom. I know some about them, but I'm going to toss it to Jimmy, the micromycologist, to tell you more about this beautiful late oyster.
Oh yes, thank you. These have been scientifically reclassified a few times now. I'm going to go with the scientific name Sarcomyxa serentina, because Sarcomyxa in Greek means slime flesh. And these ones are definitely some slimy mushrooms. Now, one thing to note is that when these freeze over, they can thaw back out and still release spores. It's pretty cool, I think. So when you're out there hunting and mushrooms are slim pickings, these can be your slime pickings. Let's look at some identification tips. Okay, so the caps on these guys are shiny and shell-shaped. They're sticky when moist and have tones of gray and blue. They have an inrolled margin when young, and as they age, they get the wavy edges. Their gills are yellow cream to a pale orange, and they have yellowish to cream spores. Their stem is short and stubby and covered in these tiny little hairs. They grow in groups mostly on dead alder and maple, rarely on conifers, and you can find them late into the fall and early winter.
Thanks, Jimmy. That was great. Now let's toss it to Chef Jacques for some information about culinary value of these late oyster mushrooms.
My name is Chef Jacques. I will cook the mushrooms. We will examine our bounty. First, we chop the mushrooms with force. Some require many cuts. Some require few. We shall have no sides. We will taste the purity of the mushroom. Now, we begin to cook. This mushroom contains much water. If it is old, it will have a bitter taste. We can fix this with heat. The heat of 1,000 suns will burn through these mushrooms, eliminating the bitterness. We start with a dry pan. Then, we place the mushrooms inside. Then we wait until no water remains. At which point, we add cow's butter for flavor. We move the mushrooms around in the pan, and then we plate. And now, we taste. Yum. It tastes like earth's sweet glory. That's all.
Wow. Thanks, Jacques. Why don't we toss it to Jasper for a little story? You all right with that, Jasper?
Oh, well, I'm a little bit tired, but let's see what I can do. Here we go. It's said that the late oyster mushroom never really fit in with all the other mushrooms. The other mushrooms claimed it wasn't very pretty, that would never get picked by the local villagers. The late oyster mushroom took these insults to heart and decided that it would stay in the tree until all the other mushrooms were gone. In its isolation, it developed a tough exterior and dulled to gray. With this new attitude, the late oyster mushroom thought it could make it on its own. It stood strong through the beginning of the cold, making sure that all could see. But despite its persistence, it couldn't fight the feeling of loneliness. All it ever wanted was to fit in. One cold, blustery day, when the late oyster mushroom was waking up, it spotted a young child walking right towards it. The child was going to pick him. He wasn't going to be alone. Just as the child reached the late oyster mushroom, he heard a yell. "No, Timmy, don't eat that." The child pulled his hand away as two large villagers approached. "Timmy, you have to be more careful. Now put all those things back." The late oyster mushroom watched as they pulled mushroom after mushroom out of Timmy's pockets and set them right next to him. As the villagers left, the late oyster mushroom realized that it was surrounded by vast numbers of other mushrooms that had been left alone too. They all had tough exteriors from their struggles, but underneath, all they really wanted was to be together. What a good story. Back to you.
Well, I hope you guys learned something today. This has been a great outing for me. Good to find my good little friend here, the Late Oyster Mushroom. I hope you'll like and subscribe if you liked this. And yeah, I hope you'll come back for more. Got plenty on the map for 2024. So thank you.